Welcome back to Beards, Bourbons, Games. Today, a little bit different. Get to see our faces.
Live action!
Beautiful smiles. As always, today, co-host Big Jim. And alongside me, right beside me, with no controls in our hands today.
My hand feels empty, so I'll just grab this and feel like somebody.
You all want to see a secret stash? I won't tell them if you don't. So today we did decide to do a little bit different with a recording, as we have something really big in video games to talk about that we can't get our hands on yet.
I'm really excited about this actually, because
Not yet.
Still waiting on a lot of things from it, namely, I don't know, the price.
The price. I'll ease this topic.
Ease me.
Sure. We are brothers of blood and of growing up. But what will shock you all is we come from two separate camps on most things. Apple user. He. Android user. Like an Xbox.
I like a PlayStation.
And sure as I'm sitting here, y'all know that we got new systems coming out. Holiday 2020. That's all we're giving on that. So, even though we can't get our hands on them yet, we figured, let's talk about them. Well, at least we know about them, or what we think we know about them. And a couple data points that's been released. And what we're excited about on both ends, both sides. And what we're not so excited about, if anything.
Right, because as a PlayStation lover, I still like some Xbox games. I like a lot of the new features of the new Xbox, so I'm not a true hater.
Same with PlayStation. I mean, I burnt a PS2 up. So.
Oh yeah, I remember us playing a lot of PlayStation 2 games.
I'm an Xbox fanboy, I won't lie, but I might have to say PS2 might be my favorite console out there. But forgive me on that one, boys.
I have the fondest memories of Xbox One, us playing
yeah.
Halo together.
The game was a little different back then.
I would just let him run around and practice my sniping.
Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
So, the big thing right now with the Xbox is that everybody's, calling it the fridge, and we've all seen the PlayStation 5, and it looks like somebody's crazy trench coat. We've all seen the memes of people putting hats on them, or people making it look like Kaiba. So, both of the systems have interesting looks. Now, this is where I am going to be a realist in my mind, I guess, or I'm going to kind of lean towards his side. I think the fridge look looks really sleek and really nice. I like how minimalist it is. I like just it's square. It looks like it's going to fit in my shelf really nice. It's going to be kind of out of the way. The PlayStation is a hoss of a system. Early reports are saying it's almost like 11 pounds, but it's like this big. There's a picture of a guy in the factory holding it. And it's massive.
10.5 pounds.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking big. I'm going to have to find a place on my shelf to put it, and I don't know where. It's probably going to have to be on top, which is going to look weird.
Because the previous discussions we had is a black rectangle wolf, and they've designed it where you can have it horizontally or vertically, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
That will fit in any space. Doesn't matter what you're going for look-wise, or if you even can have a look. A black rectangle will fit in any design you have, modern, classic, whatever, or you can put it away. A very sleek white and black console, however, if you're not in just like an ultra modern white room, it's going to stand out.
It is. It's a very interesting color choice. I know it glows blue when it's turned on, and the insides in between the black and white. But there's also this thing. It can be stand on its side, and on its, well, I guess on its back and on its side. But in order to stand it on its side, you have to have this extra stand that kind of juts out too, because of how the disk drive is set up.
I believe it takes a stand to vertical as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, base.
I can see that. I didn't notice that in my Research.
Research.
I mean, they both have, speaking of the Blu-ray drives, they both have 4K Blu-ray drives, which is really nice. I mean, you got, 100 gigs on a Blu-ray disc, so games are going to be exceptional like they have been in the last couple of generations. So...
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
PS3 Pro Slims. Ultra rare. Very curvy. That one had to be laid on its side.
Yeah.
But you could definitely tell whoever had their hand in designing that probably had their hand on this go-around.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's actually a very good point.
Very curvy.
Yeah.
Way smaller than the 3.
I do like that it's not just a sleek. If you zoom in on a lot of the pictures, you can see the little bumps, and I'll put one up here. You actually see kind of the, it's a textured pattern, which helps with the design, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, the design is very neat, and I like it. I just wonder how I'm going to put it somewhere. I mean, you kind of have to dedicate a shelf to it. If reports are true and it's as big as it is, of course I'm still getting one because I'm a PlayStation fanboy, and I will support them until the day I die. Bad Xbox. So as far as like hardware, the PlayStation has a 3.5 gigahertz AMD custom Zen 2 processor that they have made for this system. Unfortunately, it clocks in a little bit under the Xbox, which has a
3.8.
Yes, so it's clocking a little bit under there. We won't know how. You're looking at what 0.3. Yeah, 0.3 difference, but that can make a difference in the game world, especially if you're doing some super high-end gaming.
Lighter.
We'll have to.
At 9.5 pounds, lighter.
Yeah, it is lighter too.
Faster. We'll leave it at that. The fridge, lighter and faster. Okay.
The flying coat, not as
BMW's pretty slick, but that boy's heavy.
It'll be interesting to kind of see how it comes out in the wash on that. One of the big things is like the GPU, the graphics processor. It also comes in at 10.28 teraflops, while the Xbox comes in at 12 teraflops. The only difference there is that the Xbox is 1.825 gigahertz, while the PlayStation is 2.23 gigahertz. So it has lower teraflops. It's a little faster. Again, though, they may be compensating that with the more teraflops, so you may actually see a better performance in it.
I think the range we're getting in now, I don't know how much your eyes actually going to be able to tell.
Yeah.
That's how advanced we're getting. I just don't know how organically you're going to tell.
That's a big thing, too, because both of these systems are able to are capable of 8K.
Oh, I'm glad, man. I know all our viewers out there have 8K TVs just waiting for these systems.
You're watching us in 8K, right? Just right now. Look at this beauty.
4Ks are just now getting affordable for most consumers.
Right. I mean, I just made a big 4K purchase, which is probably my first big 4K TV for our gaming setup. And now 8K games are coming out. I know 8K is available, but you're looking at, I think the cheapest 8K TV I could find was like $3,000, and you can get 4K TVs. It depends on if you want, I'm not talking QLEDs or stuff like that where that's a bigger, brighter picture, but you can get a base 4K TV for around $400 and not be out much quality.
I know I picked mine up 2 or 3 years ago. I jumped on the 4K train a little early because I bought it off the wall of the big blue box store, if you know what I mean. So
them deals.
And I will say that was a big jump when you go from playing on a normal Xbox One on a 1080p TV to when you go to an Xbox One X on the 4K. Mm-hmm. So I am interested to see on an 8K now how long till, was it Moore's Law lets a 8K TV be affordable?
Right.
Who knows? I don't
either. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future. I mean, they're going to have to come down a lot. I mean, Sony has announced that they have 3 TVs that are PlayStation 5 compatible. the ones that they recommend that you use with the PlayStation 5. But they are, again, Sony TVs. So why wouldn't you recommend a Sony TV for a Sony PlayStation? Sony's always been real bad about that. You pay a lot for their name and a lot of their stuff.
Got Walkman, need the earbuds, bud.
Yep. The Sony Vaio laptops and stuff, I remember them being, you get the same laptop for the same hardware and a laptop for a lot cheaper, but you're paying for that Sony name.
That is Sony Entertainment, though. I mean, to be fair, on the other side with Microsoft, they have the Xbox and then computers, just OS, operating systems.
Right.
Which is a little bit easier to market your product when you are on over half of the operating systems in Marketplace.
Yeah. That's one of the neat things about the Xbox that I ran across when I was doing research for this piece. The Xbox Pass, that's going to be a huge thing because you can play Xbox games on your PC. So if you're a PC gamer, kind of like, we're a little bit of everything. We like to play it all. But if you're a PC gamer, you can play Xbox games on there.
I mean, Game Pass kind of stiff-armed the competition of digital game sharing. I mean, it put a hurting on that industry. That industry had a lot of steam behind it, a lot of ad revenue being pumped out on YouTube and other sources. And then Xbox just came out. Microsoft came out and said, hey, $10, $12 a month. Here's a library of games you can play on your Xbox, on your PC, and your data will link on a lot of them. And
Yep.
How do you say no to that?
It's a very good deal. I mean, I know both of us are signed up for it. I signed up for it when Outer Worlds came out, and of course Halo for PC because I didn't want to have to buy it. No free trials. But it's been great so far. I mean, it really has been nice. It's not been that expensive. I can't remember the exact price on it. I'll throw the price up. I'll look it up and throw it up here for you on the screen. It's a really nice product. You can't...
I mean, a quadruple A game's going to cost you $60, and they're talking about raising that this year. So, if you don't like the game, it's no big deal. You go to the next one and download it.
Exactly. I mean... For launch for Xbox, there's a lot of really interesting games coming out. We'll get into later that I'm excited about. I know you're excited about some of them.
These aren't no-name games on their service, but
I mean they're coming out with them day one for the pass, which is crazy. And they're talking some of the research, some of the things I've heard about is Xbox's cloud service, kind of like Stadia for Google. They're trying to do a service like that you'll use an Xbox controller and you'll play. All that stuff is really neat. But on the flip side of that, where they're releasing all these games for the PC also, some people are like, well, why do I need an Xbox if my PC system is enough to play these?
I'll say it once, I'll say it again. The more and more advanced our consoles get, the closer to a high-end gaming computer they become.
Yes, I agree with that.
And so you're going to start to see the two camps of, I don't mind sitting at my desk, or I want to sit on my couch and look at a TV. I mean, even I am known to use my Xbox just for YouTube and Netflix, and it is truly my entertainment system.
That's what my
both systems can do that. I'm just saying.
Right.
I mean, even when you're not gaming, you're using it for stuff. You could just easily use a computer, but you want it on the big screen.
I mean, heck, when the Xbox One came out, I bought some of the original games that came out with it, and once I beat those, there wasn't much on that platform that I wanted to play. So it ended up becoming our family entertainment system. It had those real cool features, voice activation. Hey. Xbox Pause, we could pause our show, but we used it all the time for just Netflix and Hulu and anything video related. We use it for a DVD player.
Because it's important to remember too, those come out before smart TVs.
Right.
When you needed a hub of some kind.
When they were affordable, yeah. Right, yeah.
Right. So once again, at the time that was like the 8K TV, man. Not everybody got them. But
And we'll go in more in depth about those in future videos. I know we get on tangents. It's kind of what we do if you've watched any of our videos by now. But moving on with the stats, the storage is about the same in each one. Here's where we get some differences in the systems.
And the research.
The Xbox is coming out. It comes out with
terabyte,
1 full terabyte of space. It's got a standard NVEM SSD, which is a M2 slot SSD. If you're any tech tablet at all, most new computers have those. They run really fast. They're very good. The thing with those is that when I was running into those research, they're still running at the 3 gigs of pass-through for the data on those. The PlayStation has a smaller hard drive, which is an 8.25.
Yeah, 825.
It's a custom SSD, but it's running at full 6 gig pass-through. So load times are going to be a little faster on the Xbox, or sorry, on the PlayStation. Whoops. On the PlayStation, you're going to see they're trying to alleviate load times with that, which is probably where a lot of their extra power has went to.
But with the processing speed, I wonder if you'll notice a difference between the two. And that's something we won't know until we have them.
Exactly. And our plan is to get both of them, set them both side by side, and do a play test of them.
I mean, if you're writing 3 gigs, that's a chonker of a game to bottleneck there.
It is. It really just depends to see what happens. I mean, you'll see, like, probably in big games like, I don't know, let's say the new Elder Scrolls, there's a lot going on. You may see a difference there. But again, we'll test it. We'll stress test these things when they come out. We'll see how it's going. The cool thing is both of them have expandable drives. So you won't be shoehorned into just having that. I know Xbox has a proprietary drive that they're going to release, and I don't know for sure about the PlayStation. I think what I heard was that you can install a SSD or yourself into it, or I don't know if they're going to come out like a memory card style, but the Xbox is going to have a memory card style one, which is cool because you could take that with you. In theory, you could take that with you instead of having just to open it up, install the drive like you will with the
There won't be long that it's other people have their cards out on the market.
I remember when like Xbox 360 came around and people had like the best gamer scores and them selling them on eBay. That was insane. Oh, that was a huge thing.
Just headhunting Xboxes. Pop, pull, got your hard drive.
Right. That's pretty crazy. We've talked a little bit about Xbox Live. Of course, they're both going to have them. One big thing, the PlayStation is going to have VR capability with the VR headset, just like the PlayStation 4 does. Going to be cool to see what happens with that, if they're going to touch anything on that. I heard a rumor at one point in time about Xbox making some sort of visual thing like the HoloLens. I wonder if that's going to be compatible with games. That would be really neat.
Maybe they'll bring back the Kinect.
That
was big.
It was really big. I was surprised that this one didn't have some kind of Kinect with it.
You know, that technology is still rapidly advanced compared to like digital 3D rendering and scanning.
Yeah. I mean, the workouts alone that you could do with that thing. Did the Xbox One X, the one like you have, come with a Kinect, or did it just come?
No, it's just the system.
Okay, yeah, because the original time when the Xbox came out, it released with a Kinect. Like it had their Kinect thing, which was really neat.
That was the first, the day ones.
Yes,
and not many past that had them.
Right. It was neat. I mean, like I said, I played a lot of games. There was a workout game I did for a while. You saw how much it stuck.
I think the consoles listening to you was before its time.
Yes.
I mean, it was before the Google Homes, the Alexas were commonplace in homes.
The PlayStation tried to catch up with them. The PlayStation Eye, everybody, I'm sure how much you remember that. Yeah. It was not as good as the Kinect. I will say that right now. It was not as good as the Kinect.
It's over-glorified webcam.
Yeah. It was interesting, but it was not as good as the Kinect. The Kinect was a lot better technology. Heck, I mean, even the Move Plus thing wasn't as good as the Kinect being able to see your hand movements. They fixed a lot of that with the VR. I think they perfected a lot of things, and the VR works really good. I mean, we've played it a few times.
It's got bugs to work
Yeah.
out, but once again, it's not an Oculus Prime.
Right.
It's not a steal your money type deal.
You're not spending $1,000 on it. It's I mean, heck, you can get one now for I think like $200.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much those have come down. Those are actually really good. Next big thing would be, I don't know. Ports. Yep. What does the Xbox have on it?
The Xbox does have USB 3.2s, so you'll charge your iPhones, kids. Ethernet ports, which is nice. You're going to be able to hardline.
Yeah.
It does have digital optical, so you will be able to run to your sound bars and stuff straight from it instead of from your TV to the sound bars, which is not nice. Of course, your power cables and all that jazz, but segue into the PlayStation's ports. There's going to be a big difference between the two when they hit the market. Disk drives.
Yes.
All Xboxes will have disk drives.
The PlayStation 5 will have two different models. It'll have a one that actually has a drive, and then one that's a pure digital format, which will be cheaper. Now there is rumors.
Disc.
Right. I mean, you got to think how much a Blu-ray player costs, especially one that's 4K capable. So
8K capable.
8K capable. You're right. So I mean, you're looking at that extra money going into that. However, I think there's plans to roll out a Xbox digital.
You know, they tried it in the past and it didn't work. I don't see them trying it again. And the whole reason I don't think Microsoft will go through that is their whole bread and butter of backwards compatibility with all Xbox games.
And that is where the PlayStation falls the farthest behind, I'm afraid to say. The PlayStation is available for all PS4 games, PS1 Classic games that you can download from the PlayStation Store, but not the discs. Unfortunately, unlike the Xbox, which...
Plug and play, baby. You got 360 games, smack it in it. You got original Xbox games. And the way they word it sounded weird. It says it's completely backwards compatible with everything on the model before. But the Xbox One X, Xbox original games, Xbox 360 games were all backwards compatible. Compatible. Which means all Xbox games will run in this beast.
Which is pretty awesome, I have to say.
I mean, it's not going to be better graphics, but man, I have a collection of Xbox games. And if you're telling me I can just play them in the same console and not have to worry about wires or anything?
If I want to play the original Fable, pop it out, put it in.
Play one of my favorite FPS, Black.
Mm-hmm.
Pop it in. Army of Two. It's a good game, y'all. Pop it in. If we want to play the original Halo, but don't want to play the remastered Master Chief Collection, pop it in.
We can do all of it, which is really cool. That's a really cool idea. I wish that they could have done that with the PlayStation, but the architecture
completely different.
Changed so much
on
between
3, right? Between 2 to 3.
3 was such a difference in architecture that it really, really messed with being able to do some backwards compatibility.
It kind of threw out the book on how it was done
traditionally
in all video games, and just kind of rewrote their own book when the 3rd came out, which we can talk about in another category playlist that's coming up. We'll give you a sneak peek on, called the Device Breakdown. Look forward to that coming soon. Whew. But
I gotta do more research.
More research. Reading is powerful.
I can't read.
But with that being said, the PlayStation 5 doesn't have a lot of ports.
The PlayStation 5, you're right, it's falling kind of behind in the port section. I mean, it's got a USB port, USB-C port. It's got this power cable, of course. It's got an Ethernet port, which is good, so you can hardwire it in. I did not find that it actually had a optical out, which is something that I was kind of hoping for because I like to plug my sound bars directly in. It does have HDMI, of course, but compared to what I think the Xbox system, I'd definitely be interested to see if the PlayStation has any more on it, but I had a real hard time finding anything about it other than just the standard USB-C.
They're going slim with it.
Yeah, they're trying to make it as sleek and as slim as possible. For a product being so big, it's a little weird.
Give me the fridge.
Give you the fridge. Next big thing we can talk about is the controllers. The PlayStation controller they have redesigned. They've done so much to it. That's the first thing they announced. It's the first thing they've talked about. It has
Get your grip tape out.
Basically, it's a new sleeker design. I'm putting it up here on the screen for you. It still has the same kind of feel that you're used to with a PlayStation controller.
Like an Xbox controller.
It does have a very similar shape to the Xbox controller while still maintaining some of the PlayStation viability. It still has the touch sensor in the center, which I was very confused about. I thought they would get rid of that, but I guess there's games coming out that are going to use that. I mean, like Last of Us 2 was pretty cool to be able to use that strumming functionality on that. That was neat. And there's some other games that had some really cool features with that. But most of the time it became just a button. So I'm kind of curious as why they kept that. Of course, they have the share button for streaming or posting clips, which was another huge thing with it. It is a USB-C charging controller. Sony has switched to a haptic feedback rumble on it, so you kind of feel kind of what's going on. Your triggers also aren't just all the way in, all the way out. As you squeeze in, things happen, so it's just really cool. The share button I was talking about earlier is actually called a create button now because they're trying to do more. They're trying to get away from just sharing. They're trying to get more towards, I think, for the streamers to show their stuff. So that's pretty neat.
Show me what you've got.
Basically. About the Xbox controller.
Xbox controller. Boys, girls, people of the land. If you had an Elite controller for the Xbox One X, you're missing out. Because the new one is that same controller with a little bit more sensitivity and a share button. Practically a share button.
They just added the share button.
They added the share button.
That's one thing they got from
streaming. Streaming's happening. I mean,
I guess that's one thing they learned from the PS4.
if you had a headset, it was really easy because you could be like Cortana, record that. By the way, Cortana's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. But it is. You can buy rechargeable batteries or upgrades because they have them for the current ones. But stock, it comes with disposable batteries. Duracells, copper tops is what you'll get in the box. I'll put it down to $1 because that's been with Microsoft for a long time. I personally enjoy throwaway batteries, even as big as I am with reduce, reuse, recycle. I like just being able to throw a fresh patch in and go.
Yeah. Instead of having to wait to charge.
Wait to charge or even being plugged in. I just hate that feeling. And you can buy the accessories that has the stands that'll charge it. I want to smack them Duracells in and go. I mean, because if you game heavily with a headset, you'll rip through a fresh set of batteries in like 8 hours of gameplay. Which, that includes me being dumb and whenever I'm streaming, forgetting to turn my controller off. So it's not that bad. But the big thing on the new Xbox controllers is you can use it on Xbox One X's or Xbox Ones. And Xbox One controllers will be used on the new ones.
That's pretty cool. That is something I forgot to talk about is that the PlayStation 4 controllers will work on a PlayStation 5. I'm sure there's features that won't work with it because it's not the newest thing. That's something else I forgot to talk about too, is that there's a built-in microphone into the DualSense controller, which is kind of neat. And of course the plug-in. Is there a built-in mic on the Xbox?
There's not, and I'm kind of glad there is. I like having a close mic. If you're like me and you game in your bed predominantly and you got furry critters with you, Lord knows what kind of nonsense they're getting into.
Right. I mean, you could plug a mic into the PlayStation controller. But yeah, like for base, it would get annoying. I mean, there's some really neat features to both. I'm pretty excited to get my hands on either of them. To be honest with you,
I hate saying it. I think the PS5 controller's ugly.
it is different. It's bigger. Reports say it's bigger than the PlayStation, the DualShock 4 controller. Right
Good
now.
on them. I've told you 1,000 times. I think the PS4 controller's too small in my hand.
Of course, we've got big meaty hands, so
we got big meaty hands, and I'm used to the Xbox controller that is bigger. It's wider framed.
Used to like playing with the original Xbox controller.
Loved them.
Big.
They're huge.
Honking beast of a controller.
I love them still to this day. And where did my white and black buttons go? Looking at you, Bill Gates. Bring my buttons back. You hear? But they were great for flashlights.
Yeah.
Lights on, lights off. Frags out.
It was so perfect.
Perfect. I will say the Elite, though, if you do get the Elite, it might be a better controller than the new ones because you can have the 2 extra buttons on the back.
Do these not have those?
No.
Huh. Yeah.
But once again, how many people's going to custom program buttons on their controller?
Right. Plus, you got to pay the extra cost for the Elite controller. Well, these are coming with it.
These are coming with it, but it's going to have the same internals as the Elite controllers,
right?
Which are smoother and have more click points. The D-pad has I forget, 16 or 32 something click points in it. It's a full array, which is cool. I didn't ask for it. If I wanted that much array, I'd use the analog. D-pad up, down, left, right's got me good.
We interested to see. I mean, overall, the systems are very, very similar in build. It is really crazy how close together they are. There was some espionage going on there. Well, I mean,
I think they're holding out for the prices and everything. I mean, they are so similar. And if it's not them, it's the people they buy their components off of.
Right. I mean, you're going to look at, too, price. We're still waiting on price. That's something we can't even talk about. I mean, early reports are saying, what, $499 for the systems and $399 for the digital PlayStation 5. So
I think the Japanese at Sony and the big wigs at Microsoft come together on a gentleman's agreement on this one.
That would be neat.
I mean, think about it. How crazy they've just been thrown at each other over the past couple of generations of gaming consoles.
Right.
And it's just low blows left and right. These are, if you want to boil it all down, these are very similar in the way they operate and perform. Just with each of them having their own little bragging right over the other.
Right. Which brings me to my biggest point is that
what are they going to cost? No.
It's probably going to come down to the exclusives. The exclusives are going to be the big thing with these systems to see who wins this console war, I think.
Sounds like a PlayStation guy. That's what they say every time. And for the most part, it's a little true, but eventually those games will fade out. I mean, I don't know how much they're going to push that. Once again, I think it could be more of a gentleman's agreement thing, because if they really wanted to push that, day one you would have had Last of Us 2 on PS5.
Yeah, that would have been smart. That would have been really smart.
Why not?
You're going to have things like the Spider-Man. Spider-Man's coming out for PlayStation, and that's exclusive.
Everybody's been waiting for Spider-Man.
People loved the other Spider-Man, and this one's going to be amazing. But, I mean, on the flip side, you've got Halo Infinite coming out on Xbox X, Series X. Well, I can never say that name right.
It's because it's been like the same thing for... It's X, some iteration of a cardboard box.
X cardboard box Xbox. It's up, down, left, right.
It's like Elon Musk got to name this console. Oh, don't smite me.
You'll come on. Where'd my house go? Space.
Space. bets with Tesla. So, with that being said, I mean, day one, supposedly on the Game Pass, you're supposed to have games like Halo Infinite, Battletoads, Flight Simulator, State of Decay,
right,
and so on. I mean, for that just little extra month, if you're already paying for Game Pass or Xbox Gold, my bad, Xbox Live. Wow.
Whatever it's called now.
You know how it is, especially when you're younger. You buy a new console, you really can't afford fresh game titles, and that's a cheap way to get into playing your new console.
Yep.
Or at the prices they are now, even if you're grown.
Because they are slightly expensive.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is that I'm excited for both of them. We'll have to see
Indeed.
how it comes out in the wash.
Let's act like we're not getting both of them.
No, we're getting both of them. We'll be unboxing them here when we get them, playing the games that come out on them, and then we can make our judgment. We'll do a follow-up video and after they release.
I have a feeling that there will be a white console at your home, and there will be a black console at my home.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Tends to happen.
Makes perfect sense.
Well, as always, this is your co-host. Oh, well, no. I almost forgot the most important thing of a YouTube video. What am I doing? I'm crazy.
Oh no, you didn't say it.
Like, subscribe, comment, let us know. Crack what that info you want us to know. Crack and scramble that egg down in the comments for us. And then, like always, it's your co-host, Big Jim, signing out.
And Mike, see ya.